should start it off with like a Batcast.
If that's how you want to start it, I guess. That's not how I would choose to start it. But that's just me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. David here, Frank here, and our new associate, our new business associate, Brandon.
Hello. Animated series background.
Yeah, really bring it in. Well, everybody, it's been here like the MCU has been building for 15 years, and finally it's culminating at this peak.
10 years. I thought it was 10 years.
10 years?
Just 10 years, yeah.
I'm
They
over
just had
exaggerating.
10 yeah.
So this is why Brandon's here to check out, to cross-reference
whoa.
comic book knowledge. 2009 was the first one, wasn't
Yeah, Iron Man, yeah.
it? Okay, anyways.
Do they count the Hulk in that, actually?
Hulk was after Iron Man, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There was another Hulk, but that... Anyways.
Nobody talks
Which
about that
Hulk
one.
are we talking about here?
Poor Hulk. He's had a rough movie
Go with
life.
it.
Did you see that they fired him? Like, over Twitter?
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because he like, spoiled the Avengers 4 title, and they bleeped it out, and all they did was, like, hey, he tweeted out, hey, Marvel, don't get me, or hey, Jimmy Fallon, bleep it out so I don't get in trouble with Marvel. And then the Russo brothers tweeted back, you're fired.
Wow. Hard
And
tweet
nothing's been
reply.
confirmed since then, but it's been very
What?
quiet.
When was this?
About a week ago.
That's amazing. I hope Mark Ruffalo doesn't get fired. He's been the best one out of all the Hulks.
I hope it's a joke, but then again, I really hope it's not.
I mean, that would just be the worst way to get fired, like in a Twitter reply.
That's pretty rough. Well, that one girl who got fired from NASA after getting the internship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a great one too. I'll put that up.
that was a good one.
See, it's not comic book related. I know nothing about it.
Well, Frank was worried about this. We're totally going to get off task this entire podcast, so just be ready, everyone.
I'll try to do a better job of wrangling you guys in. Let's see, though.
No, it's okay. You're not our mom. We should be responsible, but
I am not your mom.
well, we're here to talk about Batman, everyone. Let's be honest. Frank's been frustrated. Is it fun for me every podcast to see Frank frustrated? Yes, it is. Is it fun for you to see Frank frustrated? I hope it has been.
I mean, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. We're here today to talk to Brandon to hopefully get some juicy information. We really want to know, what can we do to stop Batman? I'm already guessing your reactions, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Before that, everyone, it's time for... Oh, that's interesting, everyone. Here we go. And today we're not going to share any stories with each other, but we thought Brandon would kind of fill us in on his Comic-Con journey. You went to both Comic-Cons this year, didn't you?
Last year I did in New York and San Diego.
Okay.
We did Ace Comic Con earlier this year too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Ace is kind of an upcoming convention that's going on right now, and they have a bunch of really cool locations that they're doing it at. But we saw them in Arizona, and we actually got to meet Stan Lee. All 95 years of him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you come across him? He was kind of in the background, and you were like, oh my God. And he was like, I'm Stan Lee.
I wish he spoke that much.
You were like at a panel with stars and Stanley's in the back like selling hot dogs.
He's so fragile. He
He
looks
looking
like,
okay? I heard that he's been having like health issues lately.
when you
in
watch the
particular.
most recent videos of him, like that he's been putting out, he sounds like he's gonna give out any second. Like
Oh
he's
my
just
gosh.
telling his story one more time on camera, and he's just gonna be out.
That's so sad.
But he's 95.
He's
Every
95.
He's
interview,
done
it's just
everything.
like, well, this is it, guys.
And he still
Get
does
it while you can.
cameos. Like, yeah.
Stan Lee to me is like one of those people who's forever been an old person. As far back as I can remember. Just
But-
like Doc Brown.
But unlike Betty White, like he actually like looks a little bit older.
Well,
That's true.
Not as bad as some, but
I mean, I don't
a
want
little
to
bit.
like put a hex on someone, but like the last couple of years in particular, Stan Lee's just, it's really caught up to him. It's clear
Yeah,
that.
they do a lot of CGI for the Marvel movies to make him look that young. So,
Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
that Tony Stark
Just
theory
like Kurt
they did.
Russell or whatever. Oh my gosh.
But he's gonna be around forever, though. I give him like maybe till the end of next year to actually pass away. But we're always gonna see Stan cameos. There's gonna
That's
be
true.
unreleased Stan Lee cameos even past his death.
The MCU's already recorded every cameo
Yeah,
they ever need.
I think they're filming every day
They're
to make
just-
them in every movie
they're just
from
gonna
here to
green
the end of
screen
time.
So what did you see at these Comic Cons? Give us the highlights, man. What was the big stuff?
Oh man,
Yeah, what was your favorite stuff?
And please take no foreknowledge for granted. Like, who knows who's listening to this? They might not know any of these names. You know what I mean? So give us a little bit of just the light sprinkling.
Well, I mean,
A light sprinkling.
Yeah.
so we met. Dang, I'm trying not to say anything mean either. At the same time, there's a lot of good and bad that comes with Comic Cons. You meet people.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
all I do when I go to conventions is really get autographs from artists and writers, and I try getting little sketches. And we have. If you're watching the YouTube video, there's little stuff back here that what we get done. So I mean that's my focus, I'm there to have fun, I'm there to go crazy, but I'm just there to meet writers and get cool collectibles, like a lot of people go there and just check it out and look at all, but no, I'm there to
On a
hustle.
mission?
Yeah, I'm on a mission every single day. We walk like 13 miles just in the convention center, just running around getting books signed. It's like you die at the end of every day. But I mean, we met Tom King this year. Tom King was he's a current Batman writer, and he's just a dad. It's crazy. He's just like, he lives in DC. He's a bald guy, kind of, little chunks, but he just won the Eisner that weekend too. And he's just the nicest guy in the world. We got some sketches done by him. And it's just stick figures. And it's the funniest thing in the world. Because you expect like an awesome, beautiful sketch from these people, but no, he just did stick figures, and it's hilarious.
Well, that's good stuff.
Neil Gaiman did Sandman and Coraline, stuff like that. One of my favorite writers, met him, and
I have
melted.
no idea what Coraline is. Is this
Really?
You don't remember the animated movie Coraline? I assume
is
it's
it related to that or unrelated to that?
I would assume so. Is it
I was
not?
assuming it was not related. How funny.
It's related to what?
There's that Tim Burton movie, Coraline.
Yeah.
With
No,
is it related
it's
to
not
that?
Tim Burton.
Is that Tim Burton?
No.
It's Burton-esque.
Yeah, it's very Burton-esque,
in
for
the
sure.
least, it was
Yeah.
not Tim
It
Burton.
definitely has like Burton corners. You know what I mean?
Well, even,
Yeah.
the font
Yeah.
for Coraline looks like Nightmare Before
Yeah,
Christmas.
he
or
wrote. It's a
something.
kid's book, and he wrote it. And
Oh, okay.
And I have a Sandman tattoo. It's the only superhero tattoo I have is a Sandman tattoo. But I mean, there's so much, dude. You can't just. It's hard to sum it up because it's all one giant blur at the end of it. It happens so fast. It's just you don't even know what you just did. Kevin Conroy, the voice of the real Batman,
Yeah.
got to meet him a couple times.
The best Batman, I think.
The best Batman,
Even if you're counting
arguably. We should have.
like a bat
Yeah,
ranking.
yeah, we'll do that today. We gotta do that.
We'll just do it on the spot.
I don't know if it has to happen today.
What are your top Batman?
That's tough. It's going to sound silly and everyone's going to laugh about it, but the Val Kilmer Batman has a certain place in my heart because I saw Batman Forever 9,000 times as a child.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
that's
I
like
can't forget
given
it.
our age, that
Yeah.
is like a very special Batman. Just given the time those movies
yeah.
are coming out.
I think out of all the movie Batmans, and keep in mind that I haven't seen any of the DC Extended Universe movies.
Really?
I haven't seen any of them.
You haven't seen Batfleck?
No,
Like,
and I'm
on
probably
screen?
I've seen like clips on YouTube of Batfleck. My favorite Batman is probably man, this feels weird. It's probably Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Like I love
so.
Christian Bale. I think his
I
voice
don't.
is ridiculous though.
I'm not a Bale fan.
If he had a different voice, I'd be sold. And I
Like
think
a Bale fan at all, or just Bale
Oh,
Batman?
like Bale Batman.
Okay.
Bale
Oh, okay.
Bat.
I like his Bruce Wayne a lot. I
Bale
think he's
Man.
got the and it's because of American
Bale
Psycho, I'm
Man.
sure. Bale Man. The epic. What about you, Frank? Who's your favorite Batman?
I don't know. I'm just not a Batman fan. I feel like I've made that pretty.
What?
Made that pretty
You don't
clear
like
on the
Batman?
podcast. And then, like growing up, I wasn't a superhero
Why
fan
don't
in
you
general.
like Batman?
Well, I was never just like super
Okay.
into like the hero movies, the comic book movies, all that good stuff, or really like comic books in general. And the idea of like a superhero, I never really like resonated with a whole bunch. I like sci-fi stuff and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I don't know, something about Batman. It's just like
Hmm.
this brooding vigilante.
Okay, who's your least favorite Batman?
Least favorite
Who's the
Batman.
worst?
Who's the worst
Yeah.
Batman? I mean Clooney, right?
Yeah, Clooney's bad.
Clooney never got that. Yeah, that's
Like
That's all.
it's a weird casting choice. Just like
It is.
well. At the time, he was doing like ER and stuff like that. They thought he
Yeah.
was just a young, kind of an older
well,
looking.
it's but he was like this drama actor, and then they put him into like, and those Batman movies in particular, they're like pretty cartoony.
Super cartoony.
and
That
that's
one
what
goes off
they were trying
the
to do.
rails.
Bat Camp, but like '90s version, like a modern Bat
I
Camp.
see
You know
what
what I
you're
mean?
saying.
And that's why that movie was so terrible.
People hate on Adam West a lot, but they can just,
Oh,
they
no,
can just
Adam
see
West
themselves to the
well,
door.
that's what's so great about Adam West compared to Bale is that, or any of the other Michael Keaton or Batfleck, or is that you can do anything with this character. You could make him campy and happy and cheesy and like dancing on a freaking disco dance floor. But then you could also make him the darkest, scariest ever. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like you could be terrified of this guy, or it could be this like shining bright beacon of hope at the same time.
I think you're right though. Like Batman might have the biggest range of any character ever. Like I don't know anyone whose stories are so light and then in contrast so dark.
Yeah, I mean, you have the horrific Jokers that are, skinning people and throwing them on strip stages, but then you have like the Joker that's just like, throwing some like jacks at you or something, something cheap,
really silly stuff.
Of like a dead fish, and that's it. Like that's really just a dead fish, But then you can make that dead fish poisonous and poison
go right
people.
Back into the
yeah,
darkness.
and it goes back to the darkness.
Right
like you could do everything with this guy, And that's what's so great about him is that no matter what, it's still like a way to look at hope,
I agree 100%. We love Batman here on this podcast.
I see your point, but that's exactly my problem in the situation that we have. You know what I mean?
So much
and
sense.
That's
It's
the
too
whole
good.
reason you're here. I guess we'll just get started at this point because we just naturally guided into it. That was interesting, though, by the way, Brandon. Thank you for sharing your Comic-Con stories with us. But yeah, Brandon, we brought you here today because Batman has been reigning champ of Peeps and Predicts for so long.
And he will be.
And I'm so frustrated with talking about Batman.
100 years Batman.
We're just here to talk and learn more about Batman today, Brandon. You're our resident comic book expert, so we brought you in to gain some of your knowledge. And we'll see how frustrated I get through this whole podcast. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, did you have any questions for Brandon? I have some that benefit you, actually.
Yeah.
I'm on your side for this episode.
That's weird.
I want to help you as much as I can.
I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I
crush you
don't
later.
know how it
Batman
feels for you to be
crush.
like rooting for me. It's a very strange feeling. One that I haven't experienced
Which is
before.
appropriate because Batman always has the odds against him. So about to take you both down.
Does he though? Does
is
he have the
exciting.
odds against him? Because they just wrote him to be like the super rich guy that has access to all these technologies and stuff like that. Doesn't seem like any odds are stacked against this guy.
Yeah, if there's ever an
whatever.
example of white privilege, it's
Yeah, for
Batman.
real.
Well,
There's
my
a
question,
reason Christian Bale did Batman and Bates just as well.
Oh, because he's a psycho. Is that
That's
what
why
you're trying
Ben
to say?
Affleck was so good because Ben Affleck is a real life Batman. He has a Batcave in his house
Interesting.
or one of his
Whoa.
older houses.
Does he have an
yeah.
Alfred?
I'm sure
I'm
he's
sure he
rich
does.
enough.
Probably got
But I mean, he's
like
just like
Alfreds.
he's literally
A whole fleet of
millionaire.
Alfreds.
I'm glad you brought that up because I read something today, and there's like this internal memo that got leaked from DC, and it's basically talking about how they're going to recast Batman.
Yeah, they're done
And it
with
seems
Fleck.
like Affleck is out.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's Affleck's choosing more of anything else.
Well, because he
didn't want to direct that
He
movie.
complained about it the entire time.
Well,
you
to be
know?
fair, those movies were critically panned. You know, they're like, and he just got back. He worked so hard to like regain his career. Does The Town, does that other one, Gone Girl. Then he gets on Batman, thinking, "I've got it made."
But from the start, he like didn't have the spirit in it.
Interesting.
I think that's why. Like the pressure hit him. Being in a
Okay.
comic book movie now, you have more pressure than anything else because fanboys suck.
Oh yeah, the internet
They do.
makes doing a lot of things very difficult.
Yeah, like
Well, before we get too far into this, who do you guys want as the next Batman? That was part of my that's interesting. I'm just curious.
It's something I've never thought of ever. That thought has
I
never
think
crossed my
John
mind.
Hamm would be like if we got him as Batman. I think that'd be great.
That'd be pretty good.
I mean,
John Hamm's
he's-
pretty good.
He's
I
a name
mean,
being tossed around right now too.
And I think if they go wrong with that, like it's just gonna mess it up. Like something they need to do in these movies is give us the fans what we want, and show like us that they can do it right and pick up these storylines right before they go and do these crazy, outrageous, like whatever they want. We want to see adaptations of the comic books. We don't want to see the new stuff because you're going to pull all this stuff from different books and we're going to be like, oh, it's a cool reference, but it's not going to be fulfilling. I think if they show us that they could do something right and well and to the true heart and soul of these characters, they'll finally get our appreciation. Then they can make their own series and do whatever they want. But that's what made, or at least follow the same guidelines that made stuff like the animated series good, you know?
That's true.
Give us remakes of that, or maybe not even remakes, but pull from that same grit and grind that they were pulling from.
They could do that. They could make a movie version of that. Although, I think some characters look a little ridiculous on screen. I think that if they wanted to make a good Batman movie, they don't even necessarily need to pull from a comic book storyline. They just need to focus on making a good movie. And if
Yeah.
they can pull that off, then everyone will be super stoked. Like, I might be wrong, but the original Batman movie, like the Michael Keaton one, not the first Batman movie, that wasn't a comic book, right? That was like an original story.
Yeah.
And that one feels really good. It's a classic.
Well,
Yeah,
as
it
we were
feels
talking
like a
about
Batman.
this in another episode. You had made the point. These movies have become such a big thing, and there's so much money invested into them that it's really hard to take the risk and shy away from like.
Or get weird with
This
it.
is the formula on how you do a blockbuster movie. We got to hit these steps and these
Yeah.
notes.
I would love to see
unfortunate.
like what they're doing with the Joker movie, but a Batman movie like that. Have you seen the new?
I saw the trailer that they put out,
think
the
it looks
Joaquin
cool.
Phoenix Joker.
Yeah.
I think this might be like one of the best Jokers ever. Joaquin
I think
Phoenix,
so.
the perfect casting.
I think so.
That guy's insane.
And
Which actually, I was
getting-
going to tell you guys, how would you feel if they did like a Benicio del Toro Batman? They just put
Whoa.
Benicio del Toro as Batman.
Well, I mean, if you did Batman Incorporated,
I thought you meant directed by Benicio del Toro, not starring Benicio del Toro.
No, starring.
Pappy Batman.
Yeah.
like Batman Incorporated over here, there's like Batman starts, Bruce Wayne starts Batman Industrial or something like that, or Incorporated. It's in the title. Bruce Wayne starts Batman
Come on,
Incorporated.
Brandon, you're the expert. Get
Yeah.
it together.
Well, I mean, this one just requires reading. It's right behind him.
Well, he gets these Batman characters from different parts of the world, and so
Okay.
there's like this like knight and like knight and lad from like England and whatnot, and there's like this Spanish like Batman, and so he gets all these other ones, and there's literally Batman in different parts of the country.
It's like Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
right?
but
Just
like in
Batman.
your world, yeah, in one world.
Interesting.
So
Which-
you could do that.
So there's an army of Batman, is what you're
Yeah.
telling me. Let me get my pencil out so I can write some of this good stuff down.
I have your pencil now.
Ooh, I have 2 pencils.
No.
Teacher skills.
David, always prepared.
Before we get too much further, I'm just tossing out that I think Batman would be a director-actor combo. Everyone, here comes. Josh Brolin is Batman, directed by the Coen brothers. Just like real dark, real kind of crime. And I mean like a crime movie, everyone. That's what I'm saying.
That could be fun.
Detective story. There hasn't been a detective story Batman movie.
No, not at all.
Ever.
Ever.
It's weird.
You
the
see
world's
each
greatest
Batman do like 2 minutes of detective work and be like, oh, that's it. That's all the. But he is the world's greatest detective.
He is
So
the
if we
world's
got
greatest
that
detective.
gritty.
Proof. Show me proof.
It's in the title of one
Guys,
of these.
we already know
He's in
that
Detective
J.J.
Comics.
Arms was the world's greatest detective, so
Well-
everybody calm down.
Batman beat J.J. Arms in the very first Peeps and Predicts when Batman became the reigning champion. So
What was
you
the-
yourself
what-
argued against it.
What was the predicament?
You know what? It's
I'm
a great
so
time for a
curious now.
flashback, and I have it in my book right here.
Because that was the first Batman one,
When
correct?
when Batman won, and Danny was a guest on the episode, he voted too. The first one was a most dangerous game situation where they were being hunted, and it's like you can't hunt Batman; he's gonna destroy you. A demolition derby on weaponized
Also
big
Batman.
wheels. Batman takes it easily, killing Superman. That was the last one.
What a weird like set of things to pull. That Batman was like set to win that first one.
He's set to win everything, which actually brings me to a big question, man. Has Batman ever been killed, to your knowledge? Is there storylines where Batman is murdered? And if so, how did they kill him? How did they kill off Batman?
I mean, it's gone both ways, where he's
Okay.
been killed, but he actually hasn't been killed in a sense. You know, some of the biggest deaths where they're like, "Oh, Batman died." It's like, no, he didn't. He got sent back through time. But there's like
Classic
moments
comic books.
where, I mean, when you look at the end of the Killing Joke, there's that little mini story at the end, and it shows that guy like sniping Batman in the head, and that's like one kind of, in a sense, death. But the
I
biggest
mean,
one
that's
is
an easy
probably-
way to beat anybody. Shoot him in
Yeah.
the back of the head. That's
But
a
I
given.
mean, there's the death he's most known for is during Final Crisis, Grant Morrison's Final Crisis. This is basically when, I mean, everything is just going to. I can't cuss. I really don't want to cuss. Everything's going to hell. Everything's going crazy. And at the very end, Batman's facing Darkseid.
Okay.
And Darkseid uses his Omega beams to shoot Batman, and Batman actually uses a gun to kill Darkseid that same moment. So he uses a gun to kill a god, and so he goes against his own little thing, which is interesting for one thing. But Darkseid uses the Omega beams, and it fries Batman. He just has his skeletal remains there, and Superman comes out and he finds them, and he's carrying Batman's skeletal remains. But Darkseid's Omega beams, if you read Jack Kirby's Fourth World, like it was stunning to everybody. But if you really read the Forever People, Darkseid used the Omega beams on the Forever People, and they all got sent to different time periods.
He just banned them with Omega memes.
Omega memes
Until he just couldn't anymore.
So essentially, it's the same thing that happened in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like, they're not dead. They're just somewhere else.
Yeah, they're just somewhere else. You know what I mean? And
Spoiler alerts.
there's always like the almost got him stories and stuff like that, but he's not gonna die. Like he's really not. And then
That's okay. I'm not even concerned with Batman dying. That's my whole thing. Very rarely, I was gonna say never, but every now and then we'll get like fight to the death, like death match. But for the most part, they're like mundane things, and it's just crazy that Batman still manages to come on top out of everything.
Well, the problem is that he has almost infinite resources, like down on paper. There's never a situation where Batman like runs out of money or something. And then the other thing is he's way too smart.
Well, the fix is in somewhere, because we even had like, there was one Peeps where we had NSYNC. If it had been like NSYNC versus Batman, and it had been like who would win like America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Like,
but even then, I would argue, man, I would still have an argument for Batman.
Does Batman
pretty
has
well?
Okay,
such
good
great
question.
discipline that he could train himself to be a great singer.
there's an
knowledge.
episode of Justice League where he sings.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Okay, so is there anything that Batman's inherently bad at? Like, even jokingly?
Being a dad.
Oh, that's true. That's a good one.
Dude, like a dick. I mean, Jason died.
Yeah, Jason did die.
And then
that was
Robin,
his
like, I
fault.
mean, look at Damien. Damien, not the...
To be honest, I don't know much about the Damian Wayne
He wasn't there for the child.
story, but I kind of assumed that. Well, even when I saw, like, I was working at the mall at the time, and I saw that movie, Son of Batman, and then I read the back cover, and I was like, where's this kid been this whole time?
Yeah, no,
Not with Bruce Wayne.
in the
That's
80s, I want to say Denny O'Neil wrote that story, but Son of Batman, him and Talia get it on.
Oh,
And finally, and she ends up having the
moment
baby.
we've all been waiting for.
Well, Brandon has barely.
Yeah.
Well, like she has a kid, and Batman doesn't know about it, and she gives it away.
Okay.
And then you never see what happens to this kid later on. And then
That kid's
in
gonna be a little
Infinite
villain.
Crisis, the only reason why they wind up with the kid is because during Infinite Crisis, another major DC's known for their Crisis storylines, starting with Crisis on Infinite Earths. So Superboy Prime punches this glass and it shatters the multiverse, and it sends like kind of like the butterfly effect through everything, and parts of the history start changing. And it turns out that Talia kept the kid, but she didn't even get pregnant because she takes care of her body too well. But she made him in like a freaking tube. And just grew him in the tube and then birthed him.
She takes care. She's so healthy.
Are you saying that if a woman is so healthy and so physically fit, she can somehow skip pregnancy entirely?
Basically,
Yeah, your
she
body's just
kinda
like,
extracted that like semen. And
Blocking it.
Wax on, wax off.
Talia has to have like that like super assassin exotic body that's like perfect.
Well, it's because it's written and drawn by men. That's the reason why.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you let men run things.
yeah, essentially.
Exactly what
In the
happens.
80s.
Well, then he has another kid too. He has Terry, who's like his clone. In the end of Justice League.
Yeah,
That's like a
that's
weird
like one of the
storyline.
coolest Justice League.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even his kid. It's literally just like
and stolen technically. He didn't even know about it.
yeah,
Which is even
exactly.
crazier.
Stolen clone person.
Epilogue. I think that
Yeah.
episode's called Epilogue. It's the end of the last episode of season 1 of Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah. And I talked about this last time we brought this up on the podcast, but
It's one of the
basically,
greatest episodes.
Batman
ever.
Beyond got ended and they never had a real ending to it. And then the same team worked on Justice League, and then those guys were like, all right, let's make an episode where we can put a little cap on the Batman Beyond story.
Which is great. Yeah.
Which I love Batman Beyond.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
one
I'm
of my
a big
favorite
Well,
Batmans.
That's cool
They
for them
should
to
do-
get like a second chance like that.
Well,
Like finishing
what's
up a
also
story.
cool, in the new 52 series, Detective Comics 27, which is like a homage, which in numerical order, the new 52, that's the issue number.
Okay.
But they did like an anniversary issue for Detective Comics, because Detective Comics 27 in 1939 or whatever was the first appearance of Batman.
Okay.
So they have like a kind of an anthology book in there. And Scott Snyder wrote a story where every 27 years, there's a new Batman that's created. And it's like Bruce that's like kind of cloning himself so that no matter what, Gotham has a Batman, and every Batman has a certain death and everything. So no matter what, you're going to have a Batman, because every 27 years a new one's like born out
It's
of
like
this
Rick
cloning
and Morty,
device.
where there's just like some of them have
Council
like
bricks.
slight defects and they're a little bit off.
Yeah.
Well, man, the thing that gets me about this is that Batman always has a contingency plan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Even for
crazy.
old
Yeah.
age, he has a contingency plan for everything, which is why in Peeps and Predicts,
Always wins.
as long as you can afford that Batman has time to prepare, then obviously he's gonna pull it off because he's just too smart. It's messed up, man. It's
I mean,
a messed up
Justice
world to
League,
live in.
Doom. That's a great animated movie, which is based off of the Tower of Babel. Is it Babel?
Babble.
Babel?
Whoa.
David just did this like an episode or two ago.
yeah,
It's
that
really
was a good- that was a
fun.
good
Like
one.
that exact thing.
And then Frank was
beautiful.
like, "It's Babel. It's a biblical reference."
Welcome
Yeah.
to the channel, Brandon.
Frank got out his Bible and was like, "It's actually here in this part of the story."
Psalm 27.
Oh, I was actually just reading this passage.
Yeah, he has a contingency plan and takes out the entire Justice League because they hack his computer and fucking just take everyone down, dude. Like in every cold-hearted way possible. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter who you are. And I mean, when you think about it, one of the most recent storylines, DC Metal, was all caused because of a dark multiverse, and dark Batman come into our multiverse and just start tearing it up.
Are they all like in like a hair metal band?
Basically,
Just shredding?
do you have they actually made an album, and they got like the drummer from Mastodon, he did a track.
What?
The
That's
dude
super
from
fun.
Chino whatever from
Oh,
Deftones
yeah,
did a
Chino
track.
Moreno?
Yeah, he did a track for this DC album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is the most tangent thing of the whole episode, but I love Deftones. They used to come to El Paso what felt like every 3 months, and I've never seen them. I've just always missed it.
It's just
And
fun
that
to
was a
think
huge
that
band.
Chino and Seal somehow fall into the same category together and that they've been like on a Batman soundtrack.
That is weird. That is weird to think about. Which is another tangent, but I was jamming the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack the other day from the original.
The one with the Aerosmith song on it?
No,
With
that's on the
intro?
first one. The second one has a dashboard confessional, vindicated, and like taking back Sundays on a yellow card. But then Lost Prophets is on there, and that's
Strange mix.
That's that guy who.
Yeah,
to
it
molested
is.
babies,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was flipping through
Should
the
I
songs,
bleep
I was
molested out?
like, "What?
Do I have to
No.
bleep it out twice now?
Everyone needs to know. Don't listen to Lost Prophets. Disgusting. Yeah. Anyway.
But that Seal song's great, dude. I remember loving that
That
as a kid.
instantly
Yeah.
gave me a better feeling than what we were discussing. So thank you for that.
Used to say. That's the best part.
Yeah.
My power, my pleasure, my pain.
Boom. Oh man. Can we get some instruments really quick?
Quick pause. No,
Quick pause.
that's probably a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
But I think, Batman Forever is one of my favorite films too. It actually isn't completely terrible. I love
Yeah,
Jim
and you
Carrey.
know
I haven't
what?
seen it in
Not
years,
being
but
a Batman fan, I do enjoy watching Batman Forever. What are you gonna do?
It feels very 90s now.
Well, yeah,
that's the
that's
only
kinda-
bad thing about it.
Well, that's kind
There's
of the thing about it.
a lot of
but
these,
that
like,
Batmobile
quilted-
is awesome in that one too.
The Batmobile is
Those
awesome.
fins on it, it's all crazy and whatnot.
I also
you get
think-
the Batboat and the Batplane.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
They bust them all out.
Yeah.
And Robin, it's the most reasonable way to portray Robin.
Yeah,
You can't have like an 11-year-old kid in tights kicking adults in
not
a
really.
movie. It doesn't work.
not yet.
Well, the whole thing about Robin is like she's supposed to be from Canada. She doesn't even have an accent. Like, what's that whole thing about?
I don't buy it. Chabotsky's lying.
Yeah.
Lying.
What?
We lost Brandon entirely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I derailed it. It was my fault.
Yeah.
So is that like a how I met your mother reference? Yeah. It took me a second to.
Frank is trying so hard to get away from Batman, but there's no
This is not
getting
gonna
away
happen.
today.
I'm gonna switch
No,
it
I
back
just
over.
saw
Yeah.
a fun time to be, I don't know,
anything but Batman.
interruptive.
But I mean, you can't take down Batman either. In any way, Batman is literally God, and I think Batman should be compared to Jesus.
Hot takes here coming to you
Hot takes.
from Brandon. Is Batman Jesus?
Okay, how so?
More next.
No, I can know more about this.
I mean, okay, look at it this way: people look to Jesus for, something to make them feel better, to look forward to like something like an inspiration, that helps them get through their everyday lives, and feels like they're the answer for everything. And Jesus died, he got stabbed, and he came back to life. And there's something about Batman. And it's imaginary. Like, to me, you have no proof. It's an idea at that point,
Batman,
And-
of course.
Jesus and Batman, essentially. But I mean, you look at Batman and the fact that when you shoot Batman at point blank range and he's not there when that bullet hits, somehow that gives me faith. Like, somehow that gives me something to be... I know he barely gets mortally wounded, and he still pulls through no matter what, and he makes anything impossible possible. There's a part in Grant Morrison's storyline, Batman R.A.P., where he tries to kill Batman, but he can't kill Batman. Where it's this part where Batman's literally in a coffin, and there's 600 pounds of wet dirt on top of him. And he's saying, like, I've, trained to meditate, to slow my breathing down, to do this, to do that. And, it's hard, but it's not impossible. And all it took was training. And, and then he's like, I'm pushing 600 pounds, bench pressing 600 pounds of wet dirt above you and escaping. He's just like, it's hard, but it's not impossible. Because he's trained for everything. He's, no matter what he's done it 4 times before to himself and gotten out of it.
You're telling me Batman has experience in deep sea offshore drilling?
I wouldn't be surprised.
There's got to be an issue where he had to like extract like oil or something. There has
I mean,
to be.
he has like something. I'm sure he's gone to the center.
Batman is an accomplished oil painter.
See, that's a good one. Now,
a good
Like,
one.
is he good at math even?
Oh well,
Well,
yeah, he has to be.
He's a genius.
Yeah, he did a cloning device. Like,
yeah.
I thought he just
He's a
like hired out
detective.
for that
Yeah,
kind of
he's a
stuff.
detective, yeah.
Alfred's good too.
He's always typing on computers really fast. That means he understands math. That's what that means.
that just makes
He's
sense.
what
to
got me into micro sleeps, like for just like sleeping for 5 minutes
Not Da
and then
Vinci?
waking up. No, because Batman showed me how to do it
Interesting.
in 4 panels.
How did you get introduced to
This is a
Batman?
solid
Brandon?
argument.
What was your first Batman experience?
Birth, probably in the
Birth?
womb, most likely. I think I don't know.
Your dad
I'm
was
pretty
just
sure my
like
dad and my mom saw
reading
Batman Returns when
Batman
I was like
comics
in
to
the
you?
womb. Yeah, I remember watching Michael Keaton's Batman since I was born. One of my first memories is like a Batman Forever memory too. My brother and I were playing, I think, Batman like in my room, and he kicked me. And then I kicked him. Oh, yeah, he kicked me. I caught his foot, and then I kicked him. He caught my foot, and then he twisted my leg, and then I fell, and I hit my head on a dresser. I had to get stitches, and I came back home from like getting stitches and getting poked with a needle and freaking out. And then my brother was watching Batman Forever, and it was just starting. It was when the Batmobile was coming up and turning, so he could get in it.
Oh, yeah,
And then
yeah,
I was
yeah.
just like, all right, everything's cool now. Like, Batman's always
Forget
made me
about this
feel
gash
good.
on my
Yeah.
head.
This
If
story,
he could take this hit,
that story sounds like it could have happened like 2 days ago or
Like,
something. The same
believe
exact
that.
thing.
I
Well,
believe
even then, no. I mean, 25 years, 20. How old am I? 26 years later,
I
or
don't know,
whatever.
man.
So,
That sounds like a good question for you.
I'm getting dental work done, and they're cleaning my gums. And what happened was that they had to patch it up because my gums were swollen. So for it to heal around my tooth properly, they had to like put this like putty stuff on it.
Okay.
I can't wait to see how this relates to Batman.
Yeah, no, yeah, and
In issue 857 of the Comics.
Are you about to tell me Batman is an accomplished orthodontist right now? Because I will walk out.
he has, no, he's done stuff. I've seen it. And yeah, there's a few issues where he pulls like stuff out of his teeth and he escapes. So I mean,
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Like
Insane.
the secret, like a CIA capsule.
and
or
even like
something.
he punched out Nightwing and knocked something out of his tooth because he knew one of the Court of Owl's tracking devices was
Punching
in
a
there.
tooth out of somebody's
That
face
is
does
a-
not make you an orthodontist.
But the
That's
right
a
tooth.
precise
Yeah, that's a
tooth,
precise punch though.
Yeah.
That
You
makes
know
you a
what I
good
mean? Like,
puncher.
He's combining his skills.
Yeah.
Punching
His
is
knowledge
not a
of-
skill you
but
need
knowing how to
for
hit it out just
orthodontistry.
right so it doesn't make him swallow it or knock him out.
That makes you a bad orthodontist, if anything.
I don't
happened
know.
fast, you know.
I
But
don't know.
anyways, so my mouth was bleeding. It didn't heal right, so
Okay.
I was just gushing out blood everywhere and dripping blood. And the entire time I was trying to show my girlfriend Justice League Doom, and I was like, "Watch out! This is a funny Batman part." And then she's like, "You're bleeding everywhere. How can I focus?" And it's just like, "No, just watch Batman. It's all
Batman.
good." Like
That sounds
know?
like you.
So yeah, it
So
makes
every
everything
time-
better.
Every
Like,
time you get hurt, it's time to get some Batman.
yeah,
on.
honestly,
That's
when
cool.
I'm like down and I'm like, stuff sucks right now. It's I read a Batman comic and I'm like, damn, I could do this. I could totally get through this.
What would
It's
you
inspirational.
call your new Batman-based religion?
Bat religion? I don't know. You just have to
Yeah.
put bat in front of everything.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's it. Bat religion.
Bat religion. I like bat religion
Yeah,
more.
bat religion. Bat religion
But you
sounds like
might
pigeon.
have copyright issues with bad religion.
Or maybe Batology. You know what I mean? Like a Scientology thing. Batology. We'll think about
Yeah,
this.
we'll
There's
work
got to
on
be a
this.
good one. We're going to work on this and get it started. Because obviously Frank needs a... You're a minister now, Frank. How exciting.
I'm super ordained.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, there's no joke here.
Yeah, this is real.
I actually just got the stuff in the mail the other day.
how weird.
Yeah. I was gonna bring it over here so you guys could hold on to it,
We need
but
to
I
get you a
forgot.
collar for one episode.
I don't know about the collar.
No, you gotta rock that forever.
I think I'm
though.
gonna be a collarless and like a sleeveless minister.
Whoa.
I think that's gonna be like my spiel.
I
Okay,
feel
well,
you like. Who's the dude from The Simpsons?
Which one?
Not The
Bart?
Simpsons. The
Homer?
Flintstones. I'm thinking farther back.
Fred?
Barney. I think it'll be
Barney?
like Barney Rubble. Like
Is
a
Barney-
dark
Can I wear
Barney
like a
Rubble.
Flintstones thing at your wedding?
That's what I
Can that be
picture
my
outfit.
outfit?
Flintstones do go to Vegas.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Again, something we'll have to solve. So let me put this down on the list. Barney Rubble costume.
David, you didn't write it down.
I'm not writing that down. I'm not entertaining that idea. Well, this was the other thing I was going to ask you. Okay, so he's not bad at anything. He never dies, but he has definitely been defeated.
Yeah, he's gotten his ass kicked pretty hard
The Bane
before.
one's like a super famous
Yeah,
one.
that's a
that's been
famous
done.
one. Prometheus defeated him in Grant Morrison's jail.
How does he do it? We need the details.
With his own like medicine, with like gadgets and everything, he just takes down Batman. Because
Wow.
Prometheus can download martial arts, anything to his head, and he just knows it. So he downloads.
That's like the advantage he has over Batman. Batman needs that time to prepare, and this guy's just downloading that stuff
even
direct.
faster.
And
yeah.
well, he kicked Batman's ass once, and then Batman came and just whooped his. So
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can't really defeat.
Yeah, you can't really
Yeah.
defeat Batman.
Batman's gonna figure it out and be like, oh, so you did that. And just
Even the Bane thing, he breaks that guy's back and he still comes back.
yeah.
It defeats him. How ridiculous.
A lot of people recover from back injuries. Don't get carried away.
And in the most recent Batman storyline, him and Catwoman get married. And,
yeah, but didn't it
she
not even last
stood-
the whole issue? Like, they didn't even really get married?
No, they didn't.
But that's typical. He's like a millionaire playboy, detective,
Yeah.
crusader.
Well, you can't change. It's the Simpsons rule. At the end of the episode, it's got to be the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can change things, but you can't make Batman married.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. It messes with the core of the character. That's really his biggest weakness. You already touched on the father thing.
But like
he
love,
can't have a
relationships.
family.
Yeah, he can't.
Yeah, relationships.
I mean, when you watch Mask of the Phantasm,
Oh yeah, Mask of
Yeah.
the Phantasm is great.
yeah,
I love that movie. Have you seen Mask of the Phantasm?
No.
oh, it's wonderful. I mean, I cried during every Batman thing, so never mind. I was like, I cried, but I
Cried?
cried
You're
during
Like,
all
ah,
of it.
that's
That-
not a
yeah, I
good
cried.
scale, though. So
Yeah, that's not a good scale. It's not a good scale at all. Well, I don't know, Frank. What do you think? Should we just go into peeps and predicts? I feel like you've gained no knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if anything, everything has
just
just been
things
confirmed.
that I've already thought. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just
I mean,
more
any
confirmations
scenarios
of
you
Batman.
got for?
Scenarios. Well, that's really up to Frank, because I can't think of anything. And it also, in peeps and predicts in particular, it depends on who he's going against.
Yeah, it's true.
What needs to happen is someone needs to. It needs to be like the match made in heaven. The perfect.
That's the
lineup.
thing. I need the perfect peep against
Yeah.
Batman, and I need the perfect predict against Batman,
Yeah.
and I just haven't been hitting them.
Well, it's
you
because
I
won't.
might never.
you're looking for that like 0.1%.
I'm telling you, there's something. I just don't know what it is. There's something, and it's gonna be a glorious day, and it might be years from now. I might not even be alive by then. I'll blow my brains out over this Batman thing.
Wow.
Just like
So-
dress like Batman, throw myself off a roof, and ruin Batman for a bunch of kids.
Can we like record it for the podcast though, at least?
Yeah, I'm always down for content. You know what I mean?
Get the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
There
theme
is
song.
a-
We'll put like a really funny noise over the sound of my meat hitting the ground.
Well, when you hit it, it's got to be like the pow, like a 60s sound effect.
There is a time Batman died.
Ooh, when is it?
Yeah, but it's not like Batman. It's Earth 2 Batman. So you know,
Batman Light.
like yeah,
Batman
like I don't consider the multiverse Batmans to be like. There's so many of them. It's not like the real Batman. When I think of Batman, I think of like Earth Prime Batman in a sense. You know what I mean? Like the essential Batman. But issue 1 of New 52 Earth 2 series, he's fighting Darkseid invades Earth, and him, Superman, and Wonder Woman go down fighting, and he tries to attack this like satellite that's parademons are attacking him and all that, and he like blows up and he actually dies.
Huh. Okay. So not Batman, but a parallel universe Batman. That counts.
Yeah,
Other Batman.
other Batman.
Well, in infinite parallel universes, there's got to be a ton of dead Batmans. You know what I mean?
There's probably all kinds of dead Batmans. Batmans that died at birth,
That's sad.
whose parents never felt the pressure to take them to the theater and are still alive
Still
and well today.
alive. Interesting.
They did that recently in the Booster Gold the gift for the current Batman series, and Batman's parents are alive, and Dick Grayson becomes Batman. It's super dark. He has guns and everything too, and so yeah, Catwoman's robbing him, and yeah, it's crazy.
Weird.
And then there's also the dream sequences, like in when I think it's when Hugo Strange takes over Bruce Wayne's mind in the animated series. It shows him alive with his parents, and Gotham's just going to hell still. You know what I mean? Like, it shows you how bad Batman's needed. And then you hear about like Dick Grayson's parents dying, and like now there's just an orphan boy, and it's super depressing, and you know, or he dies with them and all that, and he's just like, I feel like there's something I could have done, and then he just doesn't. You know, it's unfulfilled.
That goes into the thing about his weakness being relationships, because Batman is always about like utility. He's willing to sacrifice his own best interests for the greater good. That's like a major aspect of the character for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of his thing.
Yeah, selflessness, like Jesus.
Exactly.
We did learn something today, everyone. That there are strong religious themes in Batman. Not really, just that one thing. And we're really stretching for it, I think.
Sometimes
no, I think it's totally valid. I think it's
Brandon
totally
sold it way
valid.
better than I did.
I think it's totally valid. I mean, it's all about what gives you faith and what, you know, pushes you through the day. And he has his own mythology. He has his own stories that you could tell, like, through situations, you know? It's just like Jesus.
This is amazing.
And then, I mean, you think about it. You have the beginning years, and then you have, like, the lost years that nobody knows anything about. And then he comes back when he's 30, you know?
Wow.
Wow, that's actually...
Wow. You know, Brandon, I don't know, man.
We shouldn't even be entertaining this idea, and every time that you come back, it's even stronger. And it's a little unsettling how strong it is.
No, I just love the Brandon is Jesus thing. It's
I could be Jesus.
Oh, not Brandon loves Jesus. Batman is Jesus.
I do love carpentry.
It's good stuff. I've never seen you partake in carpentry.
I made this table.
I don't know if I've ever seen you in sandals either.
No, definitely not.
That's weird. But that was more of a times thing, I think. Jesus would be wearing some like Nikes now or something.
And you know what? Batman wore Nikes for the 1989 movie. There you go. There you go. Thank you, David.
Whoa.
Yep. Those are Nike boots.
Proof.
Nike boots? Really?
Yeah, they're Nikes, yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
Interesting.
So did Bruce Wayne have to special order?
That
Nike
is
boots?
a fun fact.
All right, well, I think we should do it, man.
I mean, let's just hop into it. Let's see if we fare any better. I don't have a whole lot of hope.
You shouldn't. There is no hope.
How does this work?
So,
Break it
Brandon,
down.
you're going to... Well, let me tell everyone. Hello. How you doing?
Oh, I forgot you were here.
So we have a jar of Peeps. And if you're just listening, I'm holding the jar and presenting it like
It's
Vanna
purple.
White.
He's doing a really good job.
Thank you, Frank. I
It's
appreciate...
like a purple jelly jar.
Thank you. Look at all these compliments. Well, that wasn't a compliment. That was more of a description.
Look how full of yourself you are.
We're going to draw out... everyone knows that by now. We're going to draw out a pair of people. They're pre-made. And basically, we're going to have a discussion, a hypothetical
people are
argument
pre-made?
about... Well, all people are pre-made, I guess. Well,
Are they?
Are they?
That seems like a very
depends on-
philosophical
I feel
question.
like only
depends on the-
Frankenstein was pre-made.
well, it depends on like what you define like childbirth is. Like when you're forming, is that you being pre-made?
Rendering.
Rendering time. That's a long rendering time, man. My computer would overheat. Anyway, back to this description here. Peeps, we're going to pull two out. We're going to have a hypothetical argument about
No, it's going to
our
be real.
predicts.
Yeah, the argument will
Yeah,
be
the argument's gonna
very
be pretty
real.
Well, the argument will be real.
Hypothetical situation, maybe.
So, since you're our guest, Brandon, why don't you pull out this peep in here? Just grab one of them.
I can't.
Don't do it wrong,
You can
Let me
Brandon.
just
pour
like,
one out.
sprinkle it in my hand.
We'll see.
I got three of
Okay,
them.
just put one. Just feel the lucky one. Keep the lucky one. Right on, man.
All right.
Read it for us, please.
Just some water. I gotta wet the lips. Water the sprouts.
I gotcha.
Water the sprouts. I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
Water the
But
sprouts
I'm
now.
totally going to start saying it.
Oh man, Patrick Bateman,
What?
Christian Bale. This is a Bat-tastic
Whoa, It's a
episode.
fantastic episode.
Versus Rick Grimes.
Ooh.
Versus Batman. Is that what we're doing?
Eventually, that's where we'll
well,
get
so
one of them.
what happens is we need to first argue between these two, and then whoever wins
2
gets
out of 3 style.
the privilege to go against the bat and see
Oh,
what
I see.
happens. So,
I feel like either one would be great. All right, I'm excited now.
Patrick Bateman, Rick Grimes. Do you mind if I grab this first
For
one?
those who
Frank?
Yeah,
don't
get
know
that
who
first one,
Patrick
David.
Bateman is, It
Well,
is Christian Bale in American Psycho.
It's really weird because in chronological order of how things are going to be released, the previous video that we put out on this channel is a slasher movie list, and it'll be American Psycho's on the list. So we just finished talking about
Nice.
Patrick Bateman's portrayal.
So refer to last issue.
Yeah, so
My
please
Cape
go check out that
Crusaders.
video link.
This is the most continuity we've ever had.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm here now.
And it's because Batman's here too, yeah.
And we haven't had a crisis yet to reset the multiverse.
And
so.
Batman is always with us. Let's see here. Who are old men more likely to talk about in a steam bath?
Interesting.
Or-
Yeah, of these two characters, what two naked old men sitting in a steam bath? Who are they going to talk about?
I mean, just
Bateman.
demographic wise, I think Patrick Bateman has a better chance being in pop culture for a longer amount of time. Like at this point,
interesting.
there would be a lot more old men who have seen Patrick Bateman, know Patrick Bateman versus those who are fans of Rick Grimes.
That's true. So, like, let's say, what's an old man? What age?
An
What
old
age
man is
old?
one of those dudes that you see, and they're kind of gray. Sometimes they're really wrinkly. Sometimes they'll just talk to you forever about
So,
like nothing.
60? 60
No,
old
60's
man?
not that old.
70?
I'd say like 75,
So if someone's 75,
70 even. Yeah, I mean,
Naked.
I guess it depends on how you lived your
And
life.
sweaty.
well, that too. Let's say they're 70. That means
Did you say
that
naked and sweaty?
American Psycho came out in 91, which means they would have been like 40 something. So I think that would be the right age to read that book. I could see a lot of
Yeah.
people reading that. Whereas Walking Dead didn't come out till
But I mean, it's on
comic book.
AMC.
That's
and
true.
AMC is right next to Turner
AMCs.
Classic Movies. So when they're channel flipping, they're going to see.
Sometimes I accidentally
That's
lean on the
true.
remote and it goes to the channel.
And then you're
underneath
watching
it.
The Walking Dead and not
Yeah.
John Wayne, you know?
Well, I think that Walking Dead also has the benefit that it was the #1 show for such a long time. Only now is it like finally on its way out, and this is after like 9 seasons. But what's the demographic of Walking Dead viewers who are 70 plus? That's the part where I think not that many. I don't know a lot. Well, I mean, I don't know a lot of 70-year-olds to begin with, but how many 70-year-olds are like, let me watch an ongoing zombie drama? Not a lot of them. So
I don't talk to a lot of old men, but I
kinda
don't
agree
also
with
don't hear
Frank.
them saying that. I guess sometimes we have to do some type of exercise in our minds to figure out the true answer to this. And I just want to pose a question to you, Brandon. If you picture your Opa, your grandfather, an old man in his own right, as you said, naked and sweaty, with all these other old men in this bathhouse.
That are also naked and sweaty.
Yeah, that are also naked and sweaty.
Okay, not a bathhouse, but a steam bath.
Steam bath. It might be a steam bath within a bathhouse.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Okay,
We don't
we
know
can't
for
make
sure.
assumptions.
We don't know
Are they
where the
wearing
steam bath
towels?
is.
No, they're naked. Never mind.
Yeah,
Not
no,
wearing towels.
no towels.
It
And they're
actually
all
didn't
making
even
eye
say
contact.
naked after I just read it the first time. I just included naked. It just kind of slipped in.
Well, now I want them naked.
You slipped that naked in.
Yeah, I did. What are you gonna say?
Who makes more? Who would your grandpa be
Yeah.
talking about? Who's he more likely to
American
be
Psycho
talking
or
about?
Walking Dead?
Well,
Well,
see,
he's
that
naked
changes it
in this-
completely. Because I
this
was thinking
bathroom.
more like Patrick Bateman, because you think of a bunch of old, sweaty men talking about like that, sex scene where he's like flexing and like the two. I don't know. That's what I thought about that
Interesting.
they'd be talking about. You know.
Okay.
I might
But-
cut that out.
Beep 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 beep.
But now knowing it's my grandpa, he'd be asleep through either one of them. So it's hard to say. Then again,
Sorry,
maybe
I'm
like
so-
Rick Grimes until he realizes that there's zombies in it.
Well, that's not gonna be very long.
Well, you
Exactly.
know
Well, it
what?
depends what episode you're watching.
I felt really strongly about my original argument, but if these old men found out who Rick Grimes was, I think they would be fans of him because Rick Grimes is a rugged character who picks himself up by the bootstraps and overcomes adversity. You know what I mean? His character, I feel like, would appeal in its own right without being in a zombie world. Like, just that character alone would appeal to that demographic.
Very John Wayne.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly what I was just going to say. Very John Wayne.
Yeah, like him as a character, they would like more for sure.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm on the fence right now. I'm a flip flopper. If you two think Rick Grimes, though, I'm willing to go that way because I think that's a strong argument.
I think
The
all
other
you would have
thing
to do
is-
is the grassroots campaign to let all these old dudes know who Rick Grimes is.
A 70-year-old person is probably not going to enjoy the movie American Psycho. It's too
Much?
much. It's
But
way
in their
too much.
40s when they saw it,
Still maybe too much. I don't know. I'm not 40. It's hard for me to say. You know? I don't know.
yeah, that's true.
You don't know say. So are we going with Rick Grimes for this first
I'm
one?
voting for Rick Grimes on this
I
one.
feel like going for Bateman.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, also for the sake of a bad episode, I feel like Bateman's interesting for two reasons. Because he fits the like psychopath, like Batman villain in that sense too. But that's why I'm also being, what's that word for it?
Biased.
Biased. There you go. And I also feel like he'd just kick Rick Grimes in because he only has one hand anyways. And just yank him over, you know?
I don't think Patrick Bateman would beat Rick Grimes in a fight. You know what? I'm going to go Rick Grimes with Frank. Sorry, Brandon.
No, yeah, do it.
But you know what?
It's democracy in action.
It's not done. Frank, give us another
Let me see that jar
predicament.
predicts.
Go for it.
Managed not to spill everything all over the table this time. Who comes up in more conversations per day? I feel like this one's easy.
Oh, yeah.
This is almost the same
Rick Grimes,
question,
yeah.
too. But yeah, it's going to be Rick Grimes. Like, American Psycho was a big pop culture event, but now it's
You have to like mention it to even get its name.
He's just
right,
way more topical.
Yeah.
way more topical. Well, this was easy. Okay, so
Yeah.
then...
Yeah, that was a very short predicament. Not much of a predicament at all.
So now is where we're at. We have Rick Grimes against Batman, both comic book characters, but both with vastly different values, both with a sense of utility and serving the greater good. But Rick Grimes is like a charismatic leader, whereas Batman's like the reluctant, like team captain or something.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
Don't
the
forget
smartest one, but he doesn't
the
want to
Rick
be.
Grimes wild card factor, where sometimes he'll just bite a dude's neck.
Ooh, I'm excited about this one. Let's see what it is, Brandon. Go ahead and open this one up
Bite
for
the
us.
neck of that cow. Just get some rubber. You should play the notes every time we get a new thing. This is how music should be.
Oh, I don't want to embarrass myself with my lack of oral skills.
Who is easier to describe in 10 words or less?
I feel like they both be fairly easy, like to break down as characters.
In 10 words? I feel like, I mean, he's just American Psycho. That's it. Like right there. That's
Oh, we're talking about Rick Grimes now, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
now
okay.
it's Rick
Bateman's
Grimes
out.
versus
we're just
Batman.
okay.
In 10 words or less. Okay.
Oh, Batman. Yeah, the Dark Knight right there. It's 3
Okay.
words.
How about this? I have an idea. How about you both think you're Rick Grimes, you're Batman. I'll be as unbiased as possible. Let me hear what's going on. Then we'll have a discussion. I won't make the decision.
10 words or less?
10 words or less, and I'm going to give bonus points to the least amount of words. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Ooh.
Think about it for a second. I'll just pander for a little bit.
But it's also got to be descriptive.
yeah,
Like
obviously.
if we were telling somebody out of context who had
Yeah.
no idea, like our Talking Aliens episode,
Yeah.
they have no context.
Go for content over brevity. That's my advice. Content over brevity, everyone.
All right.
That's good life advice, everybody. While we're thinking about this, thank you for watching, everyone. If you want to see more David and Frank and Beans, well, you can just watch it on YouTube if you're listening to this.
I might just put the whole music through all this.
Go for it. I think it would be really nice. Let me just give it a second to kick in.
Ooh, that's smooth.
David and Frank and Beans, now available on iTunes, where you can listen to every episode if we did a podcast. You can also find us on Facebook at David and Frank and Beans, where we update you with the newest news for the podcast show. We also have a YouTube channel. Guess what it is? David and Frank and Beans, everybody. That's it. That's all my plugs. We are sponsored today by Brandon. He's right here. He's on his phone. I think he's cheating right now. I don't know. The teacher in me says that you need to put your phone away, sir.
Take it away from him until
This
the
is,
end of
this,
class.
is, this is not an open book test. Can I please
Oh,
have your
here you
phone?
go.
Just give me your phone. It's going to be easier if you just give me your phone, Brandon.
Ooh, I felt like I was in trouble for a
Okay.
second, dude.
I
You
need
can,
a
you can get
writing
it back at the end of
utensil.
class, but you need to be on it. You need to focus, Brandon.
This is just like class all over again, Brandon.
Sorry.
When you stand up and turn your backpack inside out.
That's great.
This is one of my favorite classroom pranks ever.
Brandon's
First time I
cheating.
saw you do that, I was like, nice.
Turned your backpack inside out.
Yeah, I had to go do something on the board. I came back and my backpack was inside out with
all
all
your
the
stuff
stuff
in
like
it?
back in it. It's
That's
very
evil.
impressive. And it took me a second. I was like, what?
When I was at UTEP, my stand partner Tony, I used to lock his lock backwards. So as soon as we get back and he'd
That's a good
unlock
one.
his lock, I wouldn't even close the locker. I would just put it on the outside so he couldn't close it. But I'd turn it around so he had to like tilt it up and then do it upside down. Sorry, Tony. Tony's not watching this. He's not gonna see it. How are we doing over here, gentlemen? Are you ready,
I'm
Brandon?
ready, yeah.
Okay, Brandon, let's hear yours first while
I don't
Frank's
know,
over here
wait till-
thinking.
Frank's
Oh, you
done.
want to give him some more
done.
time?
All right.
Ooh, okay. Who wants to go first?
Frank does.
Well, actually, I think Brandon should go first because he's the reigning champ.
Okay.
Batman, representing Batman.
Describing Batman in 10 words or less.
That's like 6 words already.
Yeah,
Oh,
you got.
damn.
You
I
got
didn't know
3
it
words
started
left.
You've burned through some words. That's like 4 more. You have now. I don't even know how many words that
Yeah,
is.
sorry.
Vengeful Knight of Justice.
Ooh, that's good.
Oh my gosh.
I like that.
I'm gonna
That was
write
just
these
fun to
down.
hear. Give it to me one more time.
Vengeful Knight of Justice.
Ooh, I'm gonna make that a ringtone.
Can you say it a little bit slower one more time?
Vengeful Knight of Justice.
That's a great delivery. Okay, Frank. Whew. Whew, I'm getting a little hot under the collar over here.
Rugged zombie fighting sheriff.
That was a Batman reference that David just made right now from the Batman 1989 movie.
Thank you for pointing that out because it went right over my head.
Rugged zombie fighting sheriff.
Yes.
That's what, 5 words?
They're both,
Both
4
4 words.
words.
But technically, mine's 3 words because of is whatever.
Okay, now here's my challenge. Here's my challenge to you all, and I'm gonna flip it on you. What about Batman don't we know from Vengeful Knight of Justice, Frank? What is left out?
He's a knight? Like in armor? In
Oh.
medieval times?
Ooh,
I mean, essentially.
That's what he is? He's a knight in medieval times? Like of the round
just a
table? Is
knight.
that what he
interesting.
is?
There's disinformation.
Because if I had no context,
if
that's
you
what
were
I'd be
trying to
thinking right
describe
now.
it in 10 words or less, that would be confusing. You're
Yeah,
right.
it would
I
be.
guess so.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
What about you, Brandon?
What was his?
What about-
I don't even remember his.
What
That's
about
all,
Rick
like,
Grimes? Don't we understand from Rugged Zombie Fighting Sheriff?
Is he still a sheriff?
Yeah, he is.
Really?
Well, I mean, in a
That's
non-traditional sense.
who his character is.
His character is the sheriff. It's
when
the
you say
lawmaker.
there's a new sheriff in town, you're talking about Rick
Yeah.
Grimes.
And quite literally in the story, he bemes the new sheriff in town. He shows
I mean, that's
up.
like the same
over and
description
over
as
again.
Knight, though, because he's. You know what I mean? That's like the same.
But Rick Grimes was a sheriff, whereas Batman has never been a knight.
He's never gone to England and been
But
knighted.
if you think about a knight as someone chivalrous, then yes, Batman
Yeah.
is a knight.
I guess, but that's not what a knight is. Whereas
Well,
Rick Grimes
look-
literally
look
was
at-
a sheriff.
But you are knighted for being like honorable
Yes.
and chivalrous. So
Yeah,
in
but
that
you can
sense,
be.
But he's not
honor-
a. It's like the same thing. He's not a sheriff like
then
anymore.
you don't call Sean Connery a knight though.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, you do.
Sir
It becomes
Sean Connery.
Sir
No,
Sean Connery.
is it Sir? Is that
Means
what
he's
they
a
call it?
Yeah,
knight.
sir,
Yeah.
yeah.
oh, I guess you do
Sir
call him
Elton
a knight.
John?
Yeah. You would refer to him as like Elton John is a knight,
Yeah.
but you would say Elton John has been knighted. What that makes him a knight?
Yeah. Him being knighted makes him a knight.
Well, then I think this is a bad argument for you because then, yeah, Batman is a knight. He is a chivalrous individual.
No, but he's never been knighted. That's what makes you a knight. You can be chivalrous and not be a knight. Just like
But
not
has
everybody
Batman been
who
knighted?
has a mustache is a pedophile, but every pedophile does have a mustache.
Oh, you're telling me there's no comic book issue where Batman kneels before the Queen and gets knighted with a sword?
you tell
You're
me
telling me that
you
doesn't
tell
happen.
me the comic book issue.
Brandon.
Oh, I'll find that.
Give it to me right
All
now.
right, let me see my phone.
Oh my gosh. Well, Brandon, you can't have your phone back till after class. Okay, here you go. See, my issue here, and I'm trying to decide, because I'm assuming that Frank is on Team Rick Grimes, Brandon's on Team Batman.
Obviously.
I didn't realize this earlier, but it really is my decision right now. Frank, I think you've presented a very logical description of Rick Grimes. Rugged, zombie fighting sheriff.
Give me holes. I'll tell you where they're not actually holes. You know what I'm saying? I'm very confident in that description.
Well, you know what? My only
My one
complaint,
regret is not doing it in 3.
both of them don't speak to the character's weakness, but that's really not a detraction from either argument because you're both missing that. Where we don't know that Batman is unable to maintain
In
a
a
relationship.
literary definition of knight, a man devoted to the service of a woman or a cause. Batman is devoted to a cause. And you can't argue that because that's his whole purpose.
My argument is that in having no context of Batman, that description is confusing. You having to go into all the other words to prove that it is not confusing makes it confusing.
Okay. You know what? This is super untraditional. We've never done this on Peeps and Predicts. I think given this very difficult argument, we should draw another predicament.
I feel like we've done that before.
No, last time we left it up to random chance and we flipped it.
Oh, yeah. That sounds more like us, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I think this is super close, and I feel like I can't pick one and be completely honest. This is difficult.
It's very difficult.
What do you think, Brandon?
My vote is we stick with this one because I feel like I'm winning.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds.
Vengeful Knight of Justice, rugged zombie fighting sheriff. Okay.
This is the best chance I've ever had at beating Batman because it has nothing to do with Batman's abilities. It's really Brandon's abilities, and I'm just trying to crush him.
And I can even say here that, say we put Vengeful Knight, if we cross out of Justice, and then on yours we put Rugged Sheriff, we cross those two out. Still, both very powerful examples. Even at 2 words, we still learn a lot about the character. You know what?
I like how this one turned into like a critical thinking SAT prep kind of thing.
This is the most...
And I mean, Batman does everything a knight would do to be knighted. And since we don't essentially knight the way we would knight in medieval times, you know he would be knighted if he was in medieval times.
My argument would be that a security guard does a lot of the same things that a police officer does, but he is not a police officer.
But are there knights who have not been knighted by the Queen? I think there are.
Never.
What about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table?
All the Knights of Columbus, knighted by the Queen.
What about the Knights of the Round Table?
They were knighted by a king.
Yeah, I guess
King
that's
Arthur.
true.
That's true,
By
yeah.
King Arthur.
Some of them by other kings, and then King Arthur scouted them out later.
Well, I mean, there's a knight in armor. Like, he's a guy in armor defending a cause that
Has
he goes out
anybody
for.
ever called him Sir Bruce Wayne? I think not.
Because he lives in Gotham.
Maybe Alfred has said that.
Yeah.
Sir, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Sir, Bruce Wayne. Alfred, what's my name? Yes, sir. Bruce Wayne.
Solid argument, David. Tense.
It's tense, everyone. It's tense.
Let's get some
I feel
game show
tremendous
music
weight
in here.
on my shoulders. It's got to be like... We should just put the Walking Dead music.
Let's pull another...
Well, you know what? I feel like that would be unethical given that Frank is making a good point. I feel like this is his strongest argument for
It
Peeps and
is.
Predicts. It would be unfair for me to pull another predicament in a scenario. We need to see this thing through. Okay.
So, what is it?
I am like, here's my idea. I want both of you to give me a 1-word description of the character. It doesn't have to be a word that's already on here.
Interesting.
Give me a 1-word description.
Final round.
Final round. Because these are so close. And I understand what Frank's saying. I think he's being a little too literal. Like, obviously Batman's not a knight. But, to his credit, that would be confusing to someone who's never
That's
seen
what I'm
that.
saying.
But then at the same time, yours could be interpreted that Rick Grimes is still a sheriff somehow. Or like he's on a police force that kills zombies.
But when you
Somebody
think
was
of
a
a
sheriff.
knight, you think of a guy...
That's
That's a
true.
fact.
Well, he's not a sheriff now, though. No. Like, I was a waiter. I'm not David the waiter. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I
my
mean?
argument is
His is an
Batman has
occupation.
never been a knight.
Well, he's always been Batman, though. That's the
But
thing.
when you think
since
of
He
a-
hasn't always been Batman. At
he's
one point,
now
he
the
was
Dark
just
Knight.
little happy Bruce Wayne whose parents were still alive.
For like 8 years.
Here's where the difference is. Batman is still Batman. He's still the Dark Knight. When he became the Dark Knight, he's never stopped being the Dark Knight. Whereas Rick Grimes uses his information and knowledge of being a sheriff, but at this present time, he is not a sheriff.
But when you
He
think of
just
a
sheriff-
when you
he just
think of a
sheriffed that
knight,
guy in the episode this Sunday.
Rick Grimes is the king, if anything else. He's
when you
not
think of a
sheriff.
knight, you think
Well,
of somebody in
Ezekiel's the
armor and like
Well,
the shininess, the battle, like ready to fight. And when you think of Batman, that's Batman. That is when you think of a knight and you think of Batman, you think of the same image.
No. Not
Like
true.
when you come to Dark Knight and the Night, yeah.
Because I
You
go,
think-
I go
and he
straight to
has
Quest for the
armor.
Holy Grail, which is very far off.
That's if you were to just to tell me Night, I wouldn't think Batman right
That's
away.
the
That's
first
true.
thing you assume.
I would think Hank's High School, Home of the Knights. Hank's High School. Anyways, that was weird. Who cares?
I
about
wasn't
high
thinking
school?
about my one word description at all.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
Not even a little bit, did I?
You know what? I'll give you all some time. Let's do this. I'll give you a second to think about it.
All right, I got something. It's in there. I know what it is.
Yeah.
I know it's
Dig
in
through
there.
it.
We can do this.
And you know what? While we're digging in there, I'm just gonna bring up that Lego Batman's a great Batman movie, everyone, and totally overlooked.
I still haven't seen that, but all the Lego stuff is very
it's great.
entertaining.
It's
the games, the
adorable.
movies, they always do a solid job.
There's so many good references to Batman movies, like hilarious
Everything.
ones.
All of them.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
And then there's just references to pop culture, which are hilarious too. It's a great movie. And Will Arnett is a really good Batman. He's like a surprisingly good Batman. It's great. And Michael Cera's like helpless Robin. I don't know. I love that movie. It's so fun.
I love the dick joke.
I don't remember that one. I need to
When
watch
you
it
meet
again.
Stick. Yeah.
Oh, I got a little bit of feedback. It sounded like an Atari game.
Huh. Rounding the corner here. I'm getting
Okay.
some good ones. I think I got one. We shall see.
Brandon's still thinking.
Brandon, you just keep thinking of words that have nothing to do with like what you're thinking about. Like
I love to think a little bit more.
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch. Well, there is that issue where
racket.
Batman fights the Sasquatch. And then there's that issue where Batman closes down that racket.
He's like, hey, knock off all that racket. And then they knock it off.
Well, I meant like a gambling racket or something.
But they were also making a lot of
But
racket.
they were being very loud.
That's
they were
very
like
rude.
banging on pots and pans.
There's
and
people
then
trying to work out there.
tabulating stuff, which those two don't go together very well. Turns out it makes it very difficult.
This is interesting.
It is.
All right, you know what? I think we need to wrap this thing up, everybody. We got to do this. Frank, give me your word, and then we'll get Brandon's, and hopefully he's got one.
My word is strategic.
Interesting. Brandon,
That's a good one for Rick Grimes.
that is a good one for
That
Rick
is a
Grimes.
very good one.
Particularly comic book Rick Grimes,
Yeah.
too. Comic book Rick Grimes almost has a Batman-like quality.
I was just gonna say, talk
Where
about
he-
somebody who's prepared.
Yeah, he always has like a contingency plan. And it seems like in comic book, Rick Grimes always has the upper hand. Like he's always ready to go. TV Rick Grimes seems like less capable. Like he cracks under pressure more.
Well, I was gonna say
Or
he's a little bit
comes
more
his pants
emotional.
down. Yeah, he's way more emotional for sure. Comic book Rick Grimes is like, boom. Especially after,
The incident.
the incident. All right, Brandon.
Impossible.
Ooh.
Impossible.
Impossible. I like that. It's turned into a weird, fun exercise.
Everything Batman does, everything who he is, everything he's faced, impossible.
That makes sense to me because I've often
You
referred to
can't
him as.
beat like Jesus.
The comparisons keep on rolling.
I'm sorry, Frank. I got to give it a Batman.
I knew you would.
Brandon's right. I mean, I would have picked Rick Grimes.
That was great. I love strategic. That
Strategic's
was
great.
That switched the whole thing in my head.
But impossible is such a perfect description of Batman. Because not only is it impossible the things he does, but it's impossible to defeat him.
I mean, once again, I'd have to agree with you. As soon as you said it, I was like,
Well, that makes me
was
feel
good.
better. I don't want you to feel like I'm cheating you out of this.
no. As soon as he said it, I was like, oh, I just lost.
Yeah.
Like that was good.
As long as you understand.
How
you
did
can't beat
how?
Batman.
This
How?
is the best chance I've ever had. There'll be another chance.
There'll be another
I will
chance.
get you, Batman.
That's what they all say. The end of every issue.
Yeah, but the advantage I have is I'm a real person and nobody's writing my story.
Interesting. Or is someone.
Or I could be.
Damn you, Batman!
Well, if you have any comparisons to religious figures to comic book characters, we'd love to hear them.
Who do you think is Jesus?
Who do you think is Jesus? Is there a Muhammad style character in the comic book
Don't draw
universe?
him.
Don't draw him. Ironic.
He's always there, but he's not.
We both have the mic stand. Goodbye.
If you have any suggestions for peeps or predicts, send us an email at davidandfrankandbeans@gmail.com. Look out for Brandon Moore. He's going to be around. We'll be doing some stuff. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.